Hi, thank you so much for joining me today. This is Jenny Oya with Nuggets and Things. I just want to send out a reminder to each and every one of us, which definitely includes me. We have to remember that everything that we do affects somebody else. Somebody is affected by every decision that we make, whether it's a good one or a bad one. Somebody is affected by it. When talking to those who have loved ones that have been, taken from out the home, for whatever the reason may be, right? The person who's taken from the home is affected, but so are the ones who they were connected to because the home was solid, it was whole. And now you have removed a unit from out that home. You have removed someone that was connected and you have disconnected that person. It will affect the household, whether it was voluntary or involuntary. When someone is removed and is taken or leaves a home, especially on a bad note, right? Those that are being imprisoned, right, incarcerated, committed into facilities, because the mind's not stable at that particular time. Children are taken out the home because of situation that's going inside the home. And I'm telling you, you're talking to somebody who's an advocate for children who have been abused, neglected, and need to be emancipated, right? So this is what I do. So I go into homes and I assess it. I'm not quickly to take children out of the home unless it's necessary. And I have got to speak for a child. Many times they cannot speak for themselves. And when I'm talking to, I'm sorry, I'm not saying talking, but when I'm observing children that are newborns, 2, 4, 5 months old, they cannot speak, then I must pay attention to their body language, their eyes, and also I listen to their spirit, right? I watch them when they're in the care of whoever that parent may be or whoever. I pay attention to everything. I'm sitting there. I may be talking to this particular person, but I'm watching that baby because my job is to hopefully make the best decision for what's right for that child. So I advocate for children. But not only do I advocate for children, I advocate for others. But I'm saying it to say this: when you or I make a decision, and sometimes not a good one, right? People sometimes decide to migrate, right? To leave the hometown and maybe move somewhere, because they think that they have a better chance at life. They have a better opportunity. And many times they do. But what if it doesn't turn out right? What if you get 3,000 miles away from home and it's not what you thought? And now you got to figure out how to get back home. And you have a family that knows that you're having a hard time in a struggle. And what if they're struggling too and can't get you back home? That is causing, friction in the household, in the family, in the structure, because they know that someone is outside of safety and it affects everyone differently, but it still affects them. When you make a good decision, right? You decide that you want to do something, it's still going to affect everybody that you decide. You decide, to go to college, get married, have children, start a business, become a movie star, go out and become whatever it is you want to do in life. And it's a great thing. You still, it's impacting the family. They will miss you while you on that venture, traveling through that journey, on that path. They're going to miss you. But it's a miss that knowing that, oh my goodness, I'm so proud of you that you chose to do this. And what? You have a support system, or you should have a support system that's behind you that say, go, go, go. And if you have a struggle while you're going, they're there to say, what you need. What is it? I mean, don't worry about this. We got this. We're going to take care of that, whatever it may be. That's when you have a strong, unit, a strong surface, a strong structure, a strong family, when it's connected, like, solid like that. And that's a good thing. But everybody doesn't come from a solid home, a strong foundation, a home that is, about, being together, being whole and fulfilled. And so sometimes children have a desire just to get out of a home, right? So all they want to do is get their wings and go, correct? For different reasons. I used to be a child. By the time I was 16, I was leaving home because I figured by the time I was 16, I was ready to go. And, my father, those of you who have listened to me before, my father had a saying. He said, the day that you cannot follow my rules, see, I'm old school, honey. The day you can't follow my rules, it's time for you to hat up. That was his phrase. Hat up means pack up and get up out of his house. Because, it ain't going to be but one person giving out orders now. You ain't giving out orders to him too. That's basically what he was saying. So on my 16th birthday, I said, whoa, it's time for me to go because I don't want to listen to his orders no more. I want to make my own orders, right? That's something 16 years old think you're going to go out here and challenge the world, But I figured when I was 14 years old, I was working, going to school, working at night, making my money, had a little bank account going on, buying what I wanted. So I felt like, I was already, ahead of the game, right? So I'm like, I'm getting up out of here because I'm getting ready to go out here and I'm getting ready to own this world, honey. It ain't but so big. You're silly, just silly, right? And I went out. And I went out at 16 years old. And I had a lot of falls, baby. Knees bruised up, elbows skint up, head knocked up all over the place, right? I had it rough. But I was determined that I was not going to fall back home. I was not going to say, I couldn't make it. Boo hoo hoo, I couldn't make it. Now, at 16 years old, leaving home, I never realized what pain I gave my family when I left. I left 2 siblings that was younger than me. They missed me. But I was on a mission, honey, to be grown. I wasn't thinking about them. It was all about me. You see how silly you are when when you're a child, you're silly like that. I didn't think about the nights my mama probably was crying at night, praying for me that I would come home and I'll be okay. Because I was always strong-willed, right? I was strong-willed. Y'all heard me say this before. I tell people this and they still laughing, but I meant what I said. When I was born, 9 pounds, 2 ounces, I told them I was all woman when I was born. I was a full-grown woman. And my mama just didn't know it. She thought she just had a little baby. Because I did not think like I should have been thinking. And I've always been that way. And she looked at me by the time I was 12 or 13 and she shook her head. She said, Jenny, she said, your mind is too far advanced for your age. That's what she told me. I didn't understand what she said at that time. I didn't, but the woman in me knew exactly what she was saying. The woman in me. So, what she was telling me was, Jenny been here before. She's already went through this world, honey. She know things. But now today, if I had to do it over again and had the sense that I have today, back then at 16, I would have not moved so quickly. Not because of the errors that I made or mistakes, but because of who I affected, right? How me walking out that door that day, how it affected my mother, right? Because I left. And I'm telling you, when I pulled out that train, honey, I was gone. And the only time and I had children, the only time my mother watched my children is when I was in the hospital getting ready to have another one or I was having surgery. Other than that, she never watched my children. I said, you will never be my babysitter. Not because she was a bad mother, because she was an awesome mother. But I said, you don't raise 10 children. You will not be having to raise mine. That was just me now. I said, I'm going to raise my kids. I had them. They're going to be my responsibility. And that's how, and I stuck by that. I stuck by it, honey. But I'm telling you, Every decision that you make does affect someone. You affect other people by your decision. Now, you may not care about the people who you hurt, the people that you injure, the people that you disappoint, the people that you lie on, the people that you steal from, the people that you have abused and accused. Today, you may not care, but down the road, when you get to a level in your life that you become mature enough and understand how you have affected somebody's life, and because it will come back at you, it will come back at you one way or another. Sometime it missed you and goes to your next generation. You have children, they will pay for what you done, or it might skip another one. But tell you something, honey, you can't go through this world doing, wrong and think wrong ain't come knocking back at your door, because karma never misses an address. And karma has a great memory. And some say she's very vicious when she comes back, because it's something about karma. Karma, to me, she doubles up. you know, my daughter used to do this, right? My baby boy, he would hit my daughter, right? He would hit her like this, messing with her, right? And she would take her hand and she would take her fist all the way back to daggone Texas and clock him. And I could hear his back, boom. And I look at her, I said, "What you hit him like?" Now she don't hit the baby anyway, so she already knows she gonna get it. I said, "What you hit him like that for?" Because he hit me, mama. I said, "I don't give a flip hamburger what he did. You had no business hitting him that hard." And then I popped her, right? "You ever hit my baby that hard no more," right? And he about knew, I'm coming for his defense. But I said, "He tapped you and you done bully punched him." Oh, we don't play them, right? But that's how karma does too. You may have done this, but when it comes back, honey, it comes back in a force. Sometimes it comes into a force that you ain't ready for, right? So moving forward today, today, such a beautiful time. We get a chance on today to do something different than we did yesterday, to think differently, and to think before we move, to think before we do things, sometimes so quickly we don't think, right? We sign our names on stuff. Later on, dang, I wish I never got that, right? But now you got to make those payments, right? You know, you go out here and you do things quickly without thinking, because sometimes it's who we are, you know. And sometimes I have to tell people, slow down, baby. Just slow down a little bit. Take your time before you move and do that. Take your time. Write it down. If you can take out time to write down what you're about to do before you do it, just write it down and then look at it. That's enough time for you to think. I said, because you moving, your brain going, you ain't thinking sometimes. You just, oh, I should do this. Oh, I should do that. Oh, let me, instead of saying, let me write this down. I'm gonna go over here and do thus and thus. That's what you said. Write it down. And then later on, look at what you just written down. And then see what not, should I really do that? Just think about it sometimes. Anyway, just remember, everything that you do, honey, it will affect somebody. But make sure if it affects them, make sure it affects them in a good way. Make it come back to you, ooh, sweltering beautiful. That is so awesome. You're so glad that you did it because something great come from it. Let people remember you for the great things that you've done, not for, you just caused nothing but headache, heartache, and pains everywhere you went. Be considerate of other people, especially those you are connected to, because you are connected. And because of that connection, you're supposed to be cautious and concerned about the ones you're connected to. That's real talk. You have a fabulous day. Thank you so much for your time. I ask you to continue that your light so shine. Be beautiful, honey. And remember, think about everything that you do and who you might affect on that decision that you're about to make. Your children, your grandchildren, siblings, family, loved ones. jobs, whatever it may be. Make sure when you do what you do, make sure it's what you want to do because it's going to come back. And you want to come back in a good note, right? You want to make sure that when you hear it, it's going to be a great time. Thank you again, Jenny Oya with Nuggets and Things. You have a fabulous day. I love you much. Let your lights will shine. Thank you.